on you, because there was a couple times I remember when niggas was trying me on some DL shit, and I would always not go just because I was so paranoid about being found out and all that. Like, being DL, it really has its L's, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like I've caught way more dubs than I had ever caught when I was on the DL, even though they both had their pros and cons slightly, because you'll... Alright, what's good, y'all? Mr. Say So, I'm back. So, now today I just want to do a coming out story because I have not done one. And everybody who has any kind of content similar to mine, which, you know, I'm one of a kind, but like any content similar to mine, they all got them a little coming out story. So, yeah, I was like, let me go ahead and get one of these out. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, all right, I was 19. Started off at 90. This is all started at 19 years old. Like I told y'all before, I already had lost my virginity at 13 to a dude. Then lost my virginity, my female virginity, at 14. So I was DL all the way up until, well, 19, which really, like, that was just through high school. I didn't come out while I was in high school. As soon as I graduated from high school, which I was 17, I was in Kansas in high school, came down here to Colorado with my other side of the family, because for y'all that don't know, my black side is from Denver, my Indian side and Native American and Arabian side is from Kansas City. All right, so basically I come out here to Denver after high school to stay with my uncle, who is one of the richest people in my family, I'll put it that way, or most well off in my family. He has a whole ranch out it's in Bennett, Colorado, for anybody that knows, but it's out in the middle of nowhere, like 30 minutes out. And then he's got a crib in the city. So I basically came out here to stay with him to do some work for him, and he could put me on to some business accolades and all some other shit, you know, business deals or whatever. Also just, you know, kind of like mentor me. So I come out here and, like, I'm staying with him out on the ranch at first, where I'm basically just like, you know, helping with the pit bulls. He breeds pit bulls. I'm helping with the pit bulls and the weed. He also does weed dispensary. Like, he is one of the people who create, or he was, who had a farm, a weed farm. So I would help with that, like watering the plants and all this other shit, and just etc. Right? So I'm out here, fresh out of high school, and I just was like, you know, I'm ready to explore my sexuality. So I had been really sheltered growing up, like, to where I didn't really, like, with my pop side, I was very sheltered. So I was very, like, eager to get out and, like, experience a different side of life in somewhere else other than Kansas, you know what I'm saying? Even though I had been out here before, it was in my freshman year of high school, and then I had been out here throughout my childhood and shit, but I always loved it out here. So this was the first place that I decided to come. Get out here. I get on, what was it, like MySpace or something at the time? I don't know if it was MySpace or Facebook, but I get to talking to this Puerto Rican dude. And so I'm going to speed up the story real quick, because I ain't come out with the Puerto Rican dude, but that's the first dude that I fucked with when, like, as an, like, adult or whatever, after I graduated. Because the only dude I had messed with before him was Frank, and that was, like, when I was, like, 15 years old and down. 15, 16 and down, so I hadn't messed with nobody. Like, no, I was 15, so, like, I hadn't messed with no dudes in a couple years. So he was the first one. Linked up with him, hella good vibe. Me and him actually kicked it off, and he actually ended up becoming like my first boyfriend on the low later on. But after all of that, I meet this dude named Antoine, who I was like, this was the one that I got serious with. This is my first relationship that I got serious with. We got our names tatted on each other, some more shit. We was young and reckless. All right, don't even ask no questions. But yeah, like, it was crazy. That was the most like that was the first like very passionate relationship. I'll put it that way. Like, that one was wild. Like, boy, when I tell you, like, me and my bro still talk about shit that happened back then to this day. But anyway, me and his relationship is what made me come out. Me and him, before we had ended up getting our place together, because we were dating for a couple months before we had got our own crib. But this is the thing. Me and him moved out together. So before I had ever got my own crib, I had moved out with my boyfriend at the time. So I didn't get my first crib until like 2013, but this is like 2011 that I'm talking about. So me and my dude get this crib, Antoine, my first dude, my first like love or whatever. But before we get it, right, like right after we got it, because I wasn't, like, he had already came out to his peoples like a month before this. So he had came out while he was still living at home with his people, but I knew his people. I was always over there, like, he knew my peoples and whatever. So like, he ended up telling his people and he came out or whatever. And then that gave me the energy to come out, because I was just like, you know, shit, are we about to move out, get a place together? I'm all in La La Land thinking like, oh, we about to be together and all this other shit, forever and all this other shit. Like, little did I know, you know what I'm saying? But basically, I was already getting ready to want to come out, but we got kind of busted in two ways, because this was back when like house phones, and you know, I used to get on the house phone, talk to this nigga, and my people, specifically my grandma, had listened to one of our conversations while we was on the phone and picking up the phone, and I didn't even fucking know that she up here listening to our ass, you know what I'm saying? So that was one way. So she found out like this, like that, and then she was nosy. Me and him got into an argument on the side of the house one day, and he was loud and shit, and then my uncle came out to try to, like, you know, referee us, and while my uncle came out to referee us, he was like, what's going on with y'all niggas? Like, what y'all arguing for and whatever? And because my family knew him, but they didn't know that we was fucking around. We were just friends, you know what I'm saying, to them. And so I didn't say nothing, right? Because I'm just like, I don't know what to say. This nigga gonna say, ask your nephew why we fighting. Ask your nephew why we fighting. And then my uncle looked at me and shook his head, and we made eye contact, and I just knew. I was like, oh my God, this nigga, like, he had pissed me off. Like, he ain't telling, but he, like, when he did that, my uncle pretty much knew, right? Whole time my grandma looking out the window, or probably listening or whatever, out the window on the side of the big ass house. Not minding her business, and that's what I think, like, they got to talking, they ended up figuring out or whatever. And what happened was, I was gonna want to come out, but this the thing, I hadn't, like, that's how I know, like, my peoples was on my head, because nigga, before I had, like, the day before, I actually did not get the nuts, y'all, to actually come out. I didn't actually get the nuts to come and tell nobody, like, hey, I'm bisexual, whatever. Like, I didn't get the nuts to. I ended up putting it off, and I ended up not doing it. Well, out of nowhere, just so happened the very day that me and this nigga are moving into our new apartment, like, literally, I got the U-Haul outside, all that shit, right? Literally, I'm getting, like, it's the night before or whatever, or the morning of it, actually. I get a call from my mom, and she was just like, so what's this that your grandma tells me that she think that you gay? And talking about some boy be always coming and picking you up. you know what I'm saying? And I was just listening, right? And I'm like waking up. Like she caught me, like she woke me up out of my sleep. So I answer the phone, I'm half-ass asleep. And she's telling me this. And literally, y'all, like my conscience didn't even kick in enough to where I was able to defend myself. I didn't even care. I was just like, she was just like, yeah, so what's this? Like they like she's saying this and saying that. And she think that you gay because she think that the boy gay and da da da. And she was like, is he your boyfriend or something, or what's going on? Like, and I was like, yes, mom, like he's my boyfriend. Like, and she was just like, oh well, like okay, like she was like, well, you know, I love you, so you know, ain't nothing gonna change, but I just need a minute to digest this and shit. And I was just like, okay, cool, well, yeah. She was like, well, how long has this been going on? And I just told her, like, we just kind of had a little conversation where I was just like, you know, uh, I've always known, I just ain't been acting on it for years, but, you know, I don't remember if I had told my mom. I know I eventually told her, but I don't think I told her right then and there that it was, you know, that I lost my virginity so young and et cetera or whatever already. But like, yeah. And to respond a little bit to some of the like responses I got on my video about my first time losing my virginity or whatever, and people were saying that like my first groomed me and shit. My aunt that's like my sister that's the same age as me, I told her this, what she knows about the whole thing, and she told me the same thing. That's what she said. She thought that too, that he like groomed me or like he like, you know, molested me or something. But the thing is like I'm not gonna necessarily 100% disagree with that just because of the fact of how it all turned out or whatever. But two, not necessarily because y'all, even though he had like, you know, made a move on me and I went for it and we did that, I still was already looking up gay porn and like bisexual porn and shit when I was like a little nigga, like watching lesbians fucking all kinds of shit. Like I was already like, I don't know how, it was because I was exposed to like porn, you know, straight porn when like, you know, like your parents would leave around like the afro butts and big booty number 6 and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Like they leave them DVDs around, so I'll pop one of the motherfuckers in. Me and my cousins and shit, we used to watch that shit. And so like it all kind of just started from there, like where like, you know, the learning about sex and stuff. So I didn't necessarily consider myself like molested or, you know, nothing like that. He was just a couple years older than me, 3 years older than me, 4 years older than me, something like that. But like, I knew what I was doing. Yeah. And then basically, shit, just to go back to the coming out story, basically after that, I told my mom on the phone, and like literally right after that, y'all, like my mom then told the whole family because like right after I get a phone call from my cousin. He's like, cuz, I'm proud of you. Like, you done came out, cuz. And then my other cousin called me and she's like, yeah, so I knew it. Like, you was like, so was them relationships with them girls fake? And and I was like, nah, they weren't fake. Like, I'm really bisexual. Like, that's when I started having to really understand that these people, like, people do not believe in bisexuality. Like, for real. They really don't, bro. So yeah, I was just like, yeah, it was, you know, it was funny, it was fun, it was weird, it was scary, like it was exciting, it was all those things. Like I will say I didn't have a negative response from my family like I thought. I thought I was really in a homophobic environment because there was no other gay people in my family. Like I didn't know nobody gay in my family. Like there still really isn't anybody else openly gay besides my auntie that, like I told y'all, that's the same age as me, but she's a female. There is no gay men in my family or no bisexual men that's open. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and then just other shit that I done heard or whatever. But what I realized is that people fuck with you for you, but also masculinity helps. And I'm not gonna cap. Like, I can tell that it does, because even though they all, gave me their opinion on it, they all also, on the most, like, on the low key, and even some just blatantly said it, that, yeah, I ain't fucking with that sissy shit though. Like, but you being a man that likes other men, that's on you. But you being flamboyant and acting like a girl and all that, that's a whole nother thing. And so I'm not shaped like this because anybody else wants me to be. This is just who I am. Now, being brought up in a family like that may have geared me into this way, maybe a little more. But also, like I said, I had males growing up in my family growing up more than women I was closest to. You know what I'm saying? My father's side, my pop's side. You know what I'm saying? So there's just a difference in that anyway. Every gay man, bisexual man has their own story. So don't judge nobody and automatically think like, oh, feminine this, or oh, you gay because you got a single mom, or you this or that. Like, everyone's different. Everyone's got their own story, and it's the reason why they're gay or whatever, or bisexual. So yeah, basically shit. After that, y'all, we got this apartment together, me and my first that I came out with, or that we came out together and shit. We got this apartment, y'all, luxury, nice ass apartment. And it was fun. It was a very fucking crazy ass relationship though. Like, so, I see why a lot of people are against the whole moving right in with somebody and that you only been fucking with for 3-4 months. Yeah, I did that. I did all that statistic gay shit, like, for real. And that shit was fun as fuck. I'm not gonna cap. Straight up, it was fun. I will say that it's got some of the best memories that I've had. I've grown a lot, but it's great to look back on some of that shit and just to be able to say that I had my young, dumb, full of cum, my wild boy stage, my, my epiphany of realization of the real world, my growth, my grown man, all that. Like, I really had phases that I've grown through in life, and I'm very appreciative of them. And, you know what I'm saying? The shit was crazy though, I'm not gonna cap. Like, that shit was wild, like, boy, but it was fun. So yeah. And then yeah, shit, after that, after my family knew, I really didn't care about who else knew at that point, because it was just like, the people I love, once they know who I am. And that's the thing, I'm gonna just be G. Even though I was technically like low-key outed by my grandma, not really. I could have definitely, like, denied it, but I didn't want to. I was ready to come out. I was actually relieved that they asked me, you know what I'm saying? Because I was really not understanding how I was going to go and sit nobody down and tell them this shit. I had really I only told Alicia. That was the first person that I told, which is my auntie that's my same age. I told her first because she told me that she was pregnant at the same time. So we both like exchanged like secrets and shit. And that was the only person I actually came out to. After that, I did admit it to my mom, my family. After that, my grandma asked me, after I got off the phone with my mom, I just told her. Before I even loaded my shit up in the U-Haul, I just told her. She was just like, why you feel like you could, is that why you're moving? You feel like you couldn't tell us that and still stay here? And I was just like, I knew that I probably would have still been able to stay here, but I just didn't know how y'all was going to handle it. And I wasn't trying to live in no, environment where I wasn't really accepted and shit. And she was just like, yeah, I understand, but like, you definitely are always welcome. Like, don't ever feel like that. And, we love you. Like, you know what I'm saying? They did reassure me, so that was great, but I still want to get the fuck and get in my own shit with this nigga so we can fuck all the time, do whatever the fuck we wanted. And that's exactly what we did. That shit was fun as fuck. I feel like, coming out is better when you are on your own, you know what I'm saying? Because then you get to be free with it, So, yeah, that's my advice. Just, like, that's one thing I will say. If you coming out, just be on your own, you know what I'm saying? Unless you're a child, or if you're a teenager or something, if you're young, then, do you, But I just want everybody to be aware that things can change possibly afterwards, and you can't go back from that. So just know that, you got to be responsible when you coming out. All right, and then also, yeah, we had posted on Instagram, me and my ex, We had posted on Instagram. We had took some pictures together, posted them up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, on Facebook and all that shit. So that's how I came out to everybody else, like all my friends and shit. Besides the friends that I had already made when I was on the DL and shit, they already knew, which is my best friends still. I still got the same friends that I had when I came out. Like, that's how you know when you a real nigga, when you loyal, when you got loyal friends and all that. That's, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. Or that you can last long relationships, I put it that way. Like, I had just got, you know, a message and what's name, like some like tickets and some coupons and some other shit from my phone company, because they just told me I get from T-Mobile, because they just told me I done been with they ass for 10 years this year. I'm officially with them for 10 years. Like, I done had this same fucking plan and everything. Like, I just didn't switch my phone up. That's it. And so they gave me some shit. I'm like, damn, I be hella. I got my day one friends, my you know, I'm consistent. You know what I'm saying? Like with all my shit. So for the most part, yeah, that's just a whole nother story. So I don't even know why I added that on there. But yeah, after that, yeah, we moved into that crib, and it was everything I thought it was gonna be, and then some more, for real, and then some more. Yo, that's the same crib that after, like, man, this nigga, that nigga was one of the craziest relationships. I had to save this nigga over the balcony when I tried to leave this nigga one time. I'll never forget that shit. Like, I'm talking about this nigga went over the balcony with the belt over his neck and went over that motherfucker. And I looked out and I thought he was bullshit. And I looked down, I didn't see this nigga, so I went out there. This nigga's dangling on the other side of the balcony by his neck. He ain't even holding on to the bars and shit. I couldn't believe that. I could not believe that shit. And so, like, I reached down and I was trying to pull him up, but, like, I couldn't pull a nigga up from down there all the way with my strength, with his weight and shit. And so I was just like, all right, I'll stay. Just come on, just pull up. And then this nigga grabbed my hand and let me pull him up. Yeah, y'all, I done been through some wild ass shit. Yeah, and I ain't give a fuck, y'all. I'm just gonna keep it real. Like, after my family knew and everything, it was all good, because to me, coming out was like a freedom thing, like, for real. Like, I was always like daydreaming and just fantasizing about niggas and shit in high school and shit, like, and I never could act on it, like, so having all them crushes and not being able to do nothing and having to see all this bullshit happen and, you know, have chances be have opportunities taken on you, because there's a couple times I remember when niggas was trying me on some DL shit and I would always not go, just because I was so paranoid about being found out and all that. Like, being DL, it really has its L's, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like I've caught way more dubs than I had ever caught when I was on the DL, even though they both had their pros and cons slightly, because you'll get certain access to more dudes DL than you would when you out to certain groups of dudes. Yes, that's true. But for the main majority, if you out, but you still carry yourself like a nigga like me, I'm trying to tell you, as long as you gonna keep it on the low and you don't get no reputation of outing niggas and shit like that, for the most part, I be having good luck with DL niggas too. You know what I'm saying? I really do. And I'll be some of the first ones that they didn't really went for, because I be brave enough to go for them. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of niggas don't have them nuts, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, it all just depends. But also with females, just for all my bisexual guys who's wondering about, you know, or curious about coming out, wants to come out but isn't sure about females, I'm gonna tell you straight up, a lot of people might sugarcoat it and make it like, oh, you gonna still have, you know, you gonna still get girls, you gonna still be able to get, you know, females, because if you're attractive and masculine, you still gonna get females. Well, that's that's true in a sense. A lot of females is not gonna fuck with you though. If you out and open about it, a lot of them ain't gonna fuck with you. See, that's the thing about when it comes to us. See, I have been tempted, y'all. I'm not gonna cap, to just not say shit to the girl, because I be looking at it like a lot of y'all's niggas be DL bisexual niggas that, or full-fledged gay niggas that ain't just came out yet, and they didn't, because they was able to pop a baby up in you or whatever. These niggas get to still not have a relationship with you and still be a co-parent with you eventually anyway. That's what most of y'all is doing anyway. And this nigga gets to come out later. I've dated dudes like that who've literally gotten bitches pregnant and have, relationships with women. Literally gotten them pregnant, whatever. And then moved on and then got with me. Like nothing happened. And they get to live their life to the fullest. Like the best of both worlds for real. You know what I'm saying? So I be looking at it like, well, just because I'm open does not mean that I should have to miss out on shit because the girl gonna tell me she don't want to fuck with me, but then turn around and fuck with a DL nigga and then get a baby by him and everything. So I'll just be like, that just be the only thing that sucks about being real, is that it has its cons like that you should not get, but this world that we live in is based on perception and shit a lot, so it's not about what's real all the time. And that's what I feel like a lot of DL niggas understand, and that's why they remain DL. And I do not have nothing against them for that, because this world, just because I'm brave enough doesn't mean the next nigga is, you know what I'm saying? And at first I will look at them like they some pussies, but then as I go through the world as an openly gay dude, I look at how, okay, if I would have stayed DL, I could have got this off. Like, it's only it's like a few things that happen. It's really rare. It's not a lot. But like I said, I still get way more opportunities because of the fact that I'm open about my shit. I've taken way more dubs. I'm talking about job opportunities, collab opportunities, money. I done lived off of, like I told y'all in one video, I lived off the gay community for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, you get a lot of opportunities, and just the way that people receive you, you get more real interactions, and you feel more like valued, and you feel more respected because it's your real self that's being treated however you being treated, as opposed to when you DL, people you don't even really know if these people is genuinely fucking with you. They fucking with your persona. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's just something to think about. All right, and so to talk about gay bashing, I wanted to hit on that. Personally, I do not recall any gay bashing being done to me. Not after I came out. When I was younger, there was some things that happened where I went through some shit when I was younger in high school. Like, I might actually get on that topic one day, or I might just give y'all a little summary real quick. But basically, the way I got to, into fighting and learn to fight a lot is because in high school I used to get bullied because of my, like, pretty features. I used to be very, like, my hair used to be, like, I used to be called, like, the boy with the baby hair, like, all the way through middle school, like, because, like, everybody else could have, like, these sharp-ass, like, lineups, and then my shit was always, like, so curly and everything up there, and it was just, like, and straight and shit. So it was just, like, I always used to get picked on just because of the fact that I look different. All the girls like me, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of dudes just didn't like me. I had my little group of friends that I fuck with, and we all was, like, real tight, and I was cool with that, you know what I'm saying? But outside of that, like, yeah. And these dudes had made this page about me that I had beefed with over this girl back in high school, right? These niggas gonna make a page about me and was, talking about how I was gay and all this other shit, and I had never made no passing on them niggas, so I don't know why they would even think that shit. I thought that they were just clowning me. They might have also picked up on a mannerism or two that, I gave a cross back then. I don't know. But whatever the case may be, I did get bullied with that. They made a whole Facebook page about me, like, took my pictures from mine, posted them, plastered on there. I'm a bitch ass nigga. That they was just talking shit, like, but that was, like, the only form of gay bashing that I had experienced when I was younger. All right. But, like, I also wasn't an innocent ass nigga. I was a little badass, like, Y'all, Regina George, my nigga. Hood boy Regina George over here, okay? Like, I made a whole book, like it was like a whole little book. This is before the movie even came out, y'all. I'm dead ass. Like, this is something I ain't never repeated to nobody, but I'm just keeping it G. I'm just being transparent. I never repeated this, but yeah, y'all. Back in middle school, I had made a burn book. And it wasn't even called a burn book or nothing. I just made this, was writing people's names, like, cause they was always picking on me and shit. So I had made this book where these brothers, they was all jealous because I had more money than them. I'm just gonna keep it G. I came from a family that was upper middle class, but they sent me to the hood school. So that's why I had this whole like preppy hood nigga, persona in a way, because that's been a makeup of what I've been around. I've had a mixture of class and hood growing up, you know what I'm saying? So I had all the J's, I had all the new shit, all the new gear. I was fresh as fuck. I was handsome as fuck. I was just dope, and I was good at sports and everything. Plus I had my first car when I was 14, so I was already driving to school as a freshman in high school and shit. So anyway, for me, I used to have to get some steam off, so I made this book or this little notebook where I would just write my name in it, and I would say the evilest shit that I would think to myself about these months. And it had got found some way in school by this girl, y'all. This girl named Josie, y'all. I'm not playing on everything. She found that. And when I tell you, she showed all these people, and everybody just hated me after that. I'm talking about, y'all, I never told my peoples why they was that. I always used to be it was the gay thing, but it would be because of that too. At that point, that was my 8th grade year in middle school. I think this was before high school, when I really got to feeling myself. Then, you know what I'm saying? Damn, this is funny now that I'm saying this, because I had just got called the human thugnificent, or real life thugnificent. And I'm like, damn, I low-key am a little thugnificent ass nigga. That's funny. But yeah. So anyway, basically, that was the only form of gay bashing that I had got growing up. But that was more jealousy, though. I'm just going to keep it G. I know that was more jealousy. I never experienced it as an adult, because I always was really waiting for somebody to try me, and nobody never did, y'all. I don't know if it's because I'm a lion, a black male, whatever. Niggas don't fuck with you. I don't know. I never got tried on that. And then, now I will say one thing that made me at first, when I came out, I was very nervous about doing any kind of PDA with a dude, or holding hands or kissing in public, anything like that. I was like, I'm not doing that. I felt like that shit was super gay or whatever. So I was like, I ain't doing that. So then it wasn't until I had met this one dude, y'all, and that's why I tell you, through experiences, you will learn lessons through guys and shit. And this dude really helped me in this sense, because I met this one dude and we was dating for a minute. He was a rider, y'all, straight up a rider ass nigga. He was a down ass nigga, for real. One of my favorites of all time. And so we was out on this date one night at these movies downtown, and we was watching the movie, and this nigga was just as masculine as me, if not a little bit more masculine for real at the time, because he was just a little bit older, but just he buffer than me and shit, you know what I'm saying? So this nigga was he didn't play that shit, so but he liked to do PDA. So I was you know what I'm saying, but so I would do it, but I would be hesitant. While we was kissing in the movies, y'all, and there was these 2 dudes behind us, and the one right up behind us, and they saw us kissing, and they was like, ew, or something like that. Why the fuck did this nigga turn around and was like, well, what's up then? Don't ever say nothing. We get to do what we want to do, just like y'all get to do what y'all want to do. We ain't bothering y'all. Don't ever say nothing to nobody about what they doing, gay, whatever. He stood up on that shit, and he was ready to bang too. You know what I'm saying? And that shit right there, I was like, that's how I want to be. That's how I'm gonna be from now on. Fuck that. I'm not about to be treading light, tiptoeing and walking on eggshells and around motherfuckers. I can't be myself. When they get to, man, miss me with that. And ever since then, yeah, I was like 19 then. Ever since then, I was like, nah. Nobody will be gay bashing me. Nobody will be. If anybody try me, I'm wearing their ass out. Straight up. Even the dudes that I holler at, when they be commenting on here and they be like, you know, oh, how you gonna, one of these niggas gonna fuck you up one day or whatever. Like, y'all think that I approach any nigga and don't be ready? If they go, they go. If they don't, they don't, and that's cool. But what they better not do is try to gay bash me or attack me or try to diss me or anything, disrespect me or anything, because I try to holler at them. I don't give a fuck, nigga. It's supposed to still be a compliment, even if you're not gay. Just keep it moving, you know what I'm saying? Because if you do anything else, it's going down. And I don't give a fuck if I was trying to holler at you or not. Like, at the end of the day, nobody ever does that when women do it, and nobody ever does it when men do it to women, and women be uncomfortable as fuck. And now y'all get to see how it feels, straight men, straight up. Y'all get to see how it feels when those compliments and shit is unwanted, and y'all get to just say it out blatant. What's up, mama? What's up, sexy? What's up, mom? Like, and y'all don't know if she's married or nothing, you know what I'm saying? And if she diss you or don't want to fuck with you, y'all have the tendency to be mad and shit, you know what I'm saying? And call her out her name or something. But you niggas be walking around here sagging, though, with y'all's ass out. You know what I'm saying? Teasing gay and bisexual men. And when one of us think that you with the shits, because that's really a gay call, you know what I'm saying? But y'all done adapted the shit from prison and then thought that the shit was cute and some thug shit. And it's not. You know what I'm saying? So that shit attracts us, and we'll holler at y'all, and then y'all want to sit there and act like, oh, I ain't with the gay shit and all this other shit. Pull your pants up then. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? Because when we holler, if you got the nerve to get mad and you got your ass and your dick out, bro, you can't. Y'all think that y'all can't be sexualized just like these. Like, that's what's wrong with straight men. They don't think that they can be sexualized like they sexualize women. Men can be sexualized just like women. You can be sexualized and walk up and be lustful for you just by you walking down the street with your ass and dick print showing. You think they're not? But you would if a girl was doing that shit. Come on, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't feel like I'm wrong. If I was a holler at a nigga and he was to be straight, oh well. He better just respect that shit and keep it moving straight up. Because anything else, I'm not gonna feel like I'm not gonna feel like I'm harassing you sexually, because I get to make my shot. I get to shoot my shot too. You know what I'm saying? We all get to shoot our shot. I'm be uncomfortable sometimes too. Gay men be uncomfortable sometimes when straight women be trying to holler at them and be like, oh, you just ain't had no good pussy yet. Let me put this pussy on you. I bet you I'll make you straight. All kinds of shit. Everybody then gets harassed. You know what I'm saying? So miss me with that shit. Y'all don't got the right to attack nobody because y'all's harassed. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I be brave about mine. Plus, I'll fuck a nigga up. Straight up. About some homophobic, gay bashing shit. Straight up. I'm not the one. So I suggest y'all don't either. But yeah. Like, comment, subscribe. And I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.